Okay, so we're going to look at a situation that probably doesn't happen very often because usually when we're dealing with this sort of stuff, we just go to like Ace Hardware and they make paint for us. The thing is, paint is a little bit more complicated than you can anticipate, and so we're going to look at this. This lesson 3.3 applications of proportions video will be about one problem, and so we're going to have one more example problem like we did in the last video. This is another sort of application to this. And while this likely won't happen in your life, because again, you can mix paint in places like Home Depot or Ace Hardware or something like that, this still, I mean, it's an applicable way to look at proportions. So here's our scenario. A particular shade of paint is made by mixing 5 parts red paint with 7 parts blue paint. Sounds like they're making purple, right? Maybe a little bit of a bluish purple. To make this shade, Shannon mixed 12 quarts of blue paint with 3 quarts of red paint. First of all, I'd tell Shannon that she was a little crazy. Why? Because 7 parts blue versus 12 quarts of blue, 7 versus 12, those aren't nice numbers. I'd say like add 2 more quarts of blue paint first, and then let's go from there. Either way, that Shannon did a silly thing. Now let's try to help her. She mixed with 3 quarts of red paint. She knows that the paint color isn't quite right though. How much more red paint should she add? Okay, so we're going to look at this proportion and we're going to try to solve it. So we know the initial ratio for this paint is 5 parts red to 7 parts blue. So we can write this part of our ratio. 5 parts red to 7 parts blue. We also know that she has already put 12 quarts of blue paint into this concoction of paint, and she's put 3 quarts of red paint. She knows that she needs to add more red paint, and the way we do that would be, listen to my words, add more red paint. So we're going to add X to that because we don't know how much red paint we need. From here, we can actually solve this proportion, right? We can actually do our cross product property. We know our cross product property tells us that I can multiply the numerator of one to the denominator of the other. So I get 5 times 12 is equal to the denominator of the first one to the numerator of the second one. 7 times, and I want to make sure I get all of this, that 3 plus x. So I'm going to get 7 times 3 plus x in parentheses. And then I'm going to solve it. 5 times 12 is 60. 7 times 3, distribute that in, is 21. 7 times x, because I have to make sure both of them are affected by that multiplication of 7. 7. And now I can do some final solving. I'm going to subtract 21 on both sides, and I get 39 is equal to 7x. I do not like that at all because 39 and 7 do not go together in a nice way. Either way, I can divide by 7, and now I get the improper fraction of 39 over 7. Great. Fabulous. Now 39 over 7 is a final answer. You can totally say that's a final answer, and I love it. You know me and fractions. I love fractions. So I can say they need to add 39 over 7 quarts of red paint. Now I will say, this is the one time I will say, be a little less efficient and actually tell me how many full quarts of paint and how many partial quarts of paint we need. You might as well just go for it. I would 100% accept this answer and be totally fine with it going into a test or a quiz or an exit pass or anything. Embrace the fraction. But we can also say 7 goes into 39 5 times. And what is left over of that? 35 versus 39 is 4 left over. So I get 5 and 4/7 quarts is essentially how much red she needs. Those are equivalent fractions. They equal each other. It's great. Fabulous. So she needs to add 5 and 4/7 more quarts. Now, if you ask me, she needs to add 2 more quarts of blue paint, and then she could add, let's say 2 more quarts. That would be timesing by 2. And she could add 10 quarts, so 7 more quarts of the red paint. But she made her bed. She might as well lie in it. That's what we're going for, okay? So now I want you to practice your must-do problems for lesson 3.3, applications of proportions. After you've done that, try your hand at the exit pass, and you will do amazing. And if you don't, make sure you request a retake from me, and make sure you show me your test corrections. Cool? Cool.
Awesome.
Ciao.